Hello and welcome to the Lloyd Dowson Autumn Budget Summary. We've been watching this afternoon with interest once they finally got started, having been able to drag themselves back down to London for a 3:30 start just to get on with it. So we're a little bit later than usual, but it's their fault, not ours. We're always fast, as you know. Now I'm the head of tax here, and I'm joined by David Dowson, our chairman, to go through some of the points that have cropped up. So David, you saw a few things in there which caught your interest.
I did feel really there was one or two practical things which was quite surprising, because it's difficult for anybody to do a budget at this point in time, and we're so near, hopefully, to Brexit. The air ambulance, everybody's favourite charity, totally self-funded. That had to happen sooner or later, and it's thrown into this budget. A bit of a giveaway, but very good. Yeah. The apprentice levy, that's been a difficult one to introduce from the government, but they're now reducing the amounts that the big boys pay in, which makes it more accessible, more acceptable, and the smaller businesses will definitely benefit from that. We're looking at digital tax services, which has been, as you know, has been on the agenda for about 3 years. They put it off in 2017 to go to 2018. Everybody was predicting 19, and that looks like it's been put back another 12 months, which is a good thing, really. It gives the small to medium-sized businesses more of a chance to get to grips with it. Yeah,
as you say, we do a bit of the apprenticeship levy in the office. Will in our payroll gets involved in that, and we're seeing that steadily creep in more and more, and people take advantage of it. So that's it's a good thing for a lot of our clients as well.
And there's also a pool being established for helping the town centres regeneration, which you know is one of my lifelong hobby horses. You haven't quite told us yet how it works, but I'm sure we'll get to know in the next 48 hours. The fishing industry's got some support with help and modern technology for the boats. We're fairly heavy in that sector, Phil, as you well know. And whatever comes in that sector will be good before we get to Brexit. So he was brave to bring that in. Pretty good. And tax on packaging, that's every housewife's hobby horse as well. They've got to do something. What they're going to do, I look forward to reading the small print.
But as you say, they've got to be seen to be doing something, keeping the planet going. So But a couple of things you spotted in there maybe weren't so great either.
Well, there's one. I'm waiting for a chancellor somewhere to get to grips with this problem of the VAT threshold, where it keeps small businesses on a low level. It's got to be an integrated phase in. Everybody says so. The CBI, the Federation of Small Businesses, the Chamber of Commerce. As it stands now, you're very well aware that the minute people go in, they can be sometimes tens of thousands of pounds worse off because they've just gone through the threshold. But he did comment that his hands were tied by the European legislation, so maybe sometime next year we might get some common sense in when people have to register for VAT.
Perhaps hinting at another budget's a bit more interested in next year when things have changed a little bit.
He won't have his hands tied so badly. Then we're looking at the annual investment allowance, which has gone up to £1 million. It doesn't affect the majority of our clients, but it affects some. We've had some overspends on that. Again, that's good for encouraging people to stimulate the economy, keep things moving along. Yeah.
So a bit of planning opportunity there, which I'm doing in my tax work, about the timing of spend, if you're up to that kind of level. So there's a bit of a timing issue with that kind of thing. We'll have to speak to our clients about that, but a positive if anybody can tap into it.
Definitely, and the annual allowance for a national insurance rebate, everybody who's got a pay-as-you-earn scheme, they're taking the bigger and the medium-sized firms out of that, so they don't get it, and they really didn't need it in the first place, did they, Phil? So was that bit of common sense coming in there, which is unusual for a chancellor of whatever colour.
That's it. But as I say, there was a few things in there from a tax point of view that I picked up upon, which we'll start with the thing he threw in at the end, which was increasing the personal allowance to 12,500 and the higher rate threshold to 50 a year early. I don't know if that was just a goad the other side, but that's a fantastic result and make a big difference to a lot of folk.
It certainly will all the way through, and I lost a personal wager with my dear wife this morning, saying we'll be definitely worse off by tonight, and by bringing that forward and know the changes in the rates, etc., I'm actually slightly better off, Phil.
All right, so you can go home fairly safely then, David.
Maybe buy you a pint.
which is frozen as well for the duty, so costing you no extra there. But a few other things that they mentioned was a few quirks with the tax, because bear in mind we weren't expecting too many changes this close to Brexit. He's tinkered a bit with capital gains tax in there. Entrepreneurs relief, this relief where you can get 10% on the sale of a business or a business asset, it's massively valuable, is being extended that you must have had the business for 2 years years rather than one. You and I spoke about this. I think one was too easy to qualify, David.
I think it definitely was, and I think some people abuse the fact you only had to hold a business for 1 year, and that isn't really entrepreneurship. That's definitely longer than 1 year in business. 2 isn't maybe quite long enough, but it's certainly a step in the right direction.
Absolutely. And again, a couple of things there with capital gains tax on if you sell a rental property you perhaps used to live at. They've quit those rules a little bit and made it a bit more stringent, but we'll talk through our clients as and when that arises. It's not a deal breaker for anything that they do. So the only thing to mention here is that what I was expecting him to put in was a big section about what they call IR35, people working in their own limited companies when perhaps they may be seen as employees. They've started to roll it out with the public sector in the last year, and undoubtedly they're always going to turn it to the private sector. That's coming in April 2020. That's not a great surprise to me. I don't know about yourself.
No, I don't think it was really, and it sounded by the way he delivered that section that it's only going to apply to the bigger companies, maybe in inverted commas to start with, but it lets the smaller businesses take a little bit more time to reorganise their businesses to accommodate any change in legislation.
Absolutely, and a great money spinner for them as well, for very little work, so I'm not surprised at all. So I mean, as far as that's concerned, that's a bit of a brief summary of where we've come today.
It was. We didn't wander into Brexit at all, which surprised me a little bit. We wandered into the austerity and our friend Mr Corbyn blaming everybody apart from himself. He seems to have forgotten that the reason we needed austerity was because of the mess that the Tories inherited 8 years ago, but he left that alone. I was also not surprised by his response at the end, which definitely had been written before he heard what was in the budget in the first place. This is just politicians scoring points off each other, and that's not really what it should be about.
These people run the country, David.
They do.
Unfortunately. They do. So thanks for joining us. That's our brief summary of the budget today. If you want to talk to us about any points which we've raised, then feel free to contact us on the details at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much.